The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Welcome to my radio and TV show, Debi Changes Lives. I'm Debi, your certified holistic health coach. I revitalize people's lives by helping them identify the root causes of their health issues, and I create a custom natural strategy to resolve them in the areas of mind, body, and soul. And as a health coach, I'm not allowed to say that I heal, treat, cure, prevent, or diagnose any diseases. I certainly can make your body be more efficient by reducing symptoms. You'll feel better, be more productive, and enjoy life more. And I want to let you know again that my Black Friday special has been extended to December 30th first. And what it is a Zytolink scan that scans your body and gives you a holistic picture. I'll send you a link to your phone, and you will scan your body for 30 seconds. It gives you a report that tells you where biomarkers are in and out of range, services and products. And what the special actually is you get 5 scans for the price of 4, and you save $50. So get your Zytolink special by looking up the family pack on my appointment link on my link tree, which is https://www.debi changes changes lives liv as in Victor es.com/linktree linkree all in lowercase. And I still have copies of my #1 bestseller, Women Rising, that's on Amazon. And what it is a compilation of 25 women's transformational stories of their success, including my own. And it's a great gift to give to someone that's struggling because it gives them to see a light at the end of the tunnel. And you can purchase one book for $20, or you can get a signed copy for $25. And you will go to my link tree too. But this time you email me, click on the email button, and ask me for a copy of the book, and I will contact you to get your information, send it out to you. And don't forget about my Beach Reveal Retreat. It is a 6-month weight release journey that goes into accountability group and maintenance, and it's tied into you writing your transformational story in a chapter of a book at a retreat in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And if you want more details on this retreat, you will go to https:// it's bit.ly/beach with a capital B, reveal with a capital R, show with a capital S, all spelled out. So you'll find out what the accommodations and everything else is like. If you have more questions, you can go to my link tree again and email me with questions, and even sign up for the program. And you need to be signed up by March 1st, 2024, because that's when the weight release journey begins. And it is now officially the holiday season, and you're always listening to Christmas music and stuff like that. And I got to say, it's a very joyous time. It can also be stressful. So I want to welcome Mike Stewart, a relationship coach, who will guide you through navigating the stress and challenges. Recognizing that an unhealthy relationship induces stress, Mike specializes helping couples with communication, especially on ideas that they're avoiding. like the elephant in the room. So, Mike, welcome to my show.
Hi, Debbie. Thanks for having me on as guest. Appreciate
Oh,
it.
oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So, what led you to become a relationship coach?
Well, I was dealing with the communication issues in my own marriage that led me to become a relationship coach. It's overcoming those challenges and then watching other family members and other couples struggling with the same things I struggled with. And I realized that, I came from a broken home. And that was one of the reasons why my parents split was they did not know how to communicate. In fact, my mom, when I asked her who my dad was, all she could tell me was he was a bum. So I never got any information, never got a chance to know my dad. So I was just taking those challenges I overcame and realizing I could really help a lot of other men and women in their communication skills in the relationship.
Yeah, communication in a relationship, in any type of relation, is so important. And the lack of not knowing your father, that must have been hard.
Yeah, I was angry with my mom when I really discovered, that she kept me from having a relationship with him. But it was all because of her perspective. I realized later she was trying to protect me because all she had in her mind was he was a bum and he would just, cause me more problems than good, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's something that you need to learn on your own, you know.
Yeah.
But your mother could always support you during that process.
Yeah.
Well, so how long have you been a relationship coach?
I've been a relationship coach since 2018 was when I decided to become a coach. I just really didn't know which type of coach I wanted to be until 2020 when the pandemic hit. And then you really saw in the news and through friends and family how relationships were really strained because anything that was there between a couple, now they couldn't go anywhere. They were trapped in the house with one another, and drug use went up, all the different things went up, domestic abuse went up. There were so many things that were signs that everything was out of control. And so that's when I really realized giving them strategies was really, really important.
Yeah, no kidding. And when you can't get out of the house, you're with them face to face, it just hits them in the heart emotionally and devastates them. So, you're probably working with a lot of emotions of these couples on both sides, weren't you?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's helping them deal with it because each one is different. We all have a different background. We all have a different upbringing. And, we usually model the way our parents, I didn't have a father, so I could only model my mom, but we model those patterns of communication that we get from our parents because we're just watching over and over again how they talk, how a father talks to his children, or to his wife, and how a woman talks to a man.
Yeah, I get that because my parents argued a lot and
Yeah.
yelled. So yeah, beginning my marriage, I was a little bit loud.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I kind of toned down as time went on. But I completely get that.
Yeah.
So why does health matter in a relationship?
Well, health matters in a relationship because really, if you're not healthy, you really can't be there to help um, your spouse, right? I mean, like my wife was hospitalized last year for 3 months. If I didn't have my health sitting outside of her ICU room trying to help her get through COVID, um, she would have just passed away because there would have been nobody to advocate for her. And
Mm-hmm.
so and I made sure I took care of my health. I made sure I dressed warm because I was out in the cold. It was wintertime. And then I also made sure I got enough sleep because I was no good to her if I didn't take care of myself. And I made sure I ate healthy every day. I found healthy restaurants around the hospital that I could go and find healthy meals that I could bring back and eat dinner with her. So it made a huge difference, in me having to be available for her.
Yeah, that's really important. During that time, I was always telling people they need to take care of themselves. because it's really hard for them to take care of others if they're not well. And it's kind of like putting on the oxygen mask on the airplane. The parents have to put it on first before they give it to the child.
Yeah.
It's really important because, when you're emotionally well, when you're, health-wise well, and obviously it'll be a good mindset, you're better off being able to help others in your family. So that's very important, no matter what era we're in. So that's something to always think about and not forget about, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So now have you had health challenges? And obviously your wife is impacted with the health challenges. So how did that impact your relationship during that time that your wife wasn't well?
Well, I mean, it was hard at first because I couldn't work. And so that put a lot of strain on our financial situation. But also, I was her caregiver for the first 3 months when she got home from the hospital.
Mm.
'Cause she really couldn't take care of herself. She could barely walk because she was hospitalized for 3 months. They should have gotten her out of bed on a regular basis when she was in the ICU, but because they didn't do that, she just got weaker and weaker. And then by the time she got into a hospital room, she had a really hard time getting out of bed. And then even when we brought her home from the care home, because she was in the care home for about 3 weeks, because the hospital said that's all they could do. She was really nervous about how I was going to be able to get her around in the house because she could barely walk. And so, and then there was the whole situation of, my life was basically put on hold. There was nothing I couldn't do much, and in fact, I was in a weekend workshop where I have a 5-day workshop where I was, online for 12 hours each day. And I just made sure that I set up with them a parameter that, hey, if I may need to step away if my wife needs me because she can't take care of herself right now.
That's good.
But then it was just adapting back to getting back into the business and my coaching practice after my wife became well enough. It's setting aside now I can, do what I want to do. Now I do have some freedom. And then it's just really helping her continue to just grow. And one of the things reasons she's still healthy is because we've take whatever the advice the doctor gives us and we check it out. We research. If they recommend a medication, we go to drugs.com and find out what are the interactions with this drug? What are the side effects? How are they going to affect other things? And, with the disease that she got diagnosed with 10 years ago, she should be dead by now.
Mm-hmm.
Because we didn't choose traditional medicine. We thought for ourselves, we found more healthy options. She's alive and well. And that's also what got us through COVID too, was really having alternative methods to take care of ourselves.
When we're put in situations like that, it's, you really need to be your own advocate and your wife's advocate. And researching information is really important because, there's a possibility what the doctor gave you is okay. But, if you don't want to do drugs and that's something she doesn't want to do because, she can't because of what her health is like, and it's not going to do her any good, then that's a decision you guys need to make and tell the doctor about.
Yeah.
And, I'm sure you learned from this whole experience that, gosh, I probably should have told them to get my wife up more so she can walk more and be stronger. I hope you had some physical therapy come to your house because there are home services that do that. So.
Yeah, we did have a physical therapist come. He came twice a week.
That's helpful.
And helped her. And then she also had a nurse come and check her, make sure her all of her vitals were good each week. But again, it was, and then she eventually went to pulmonary rehab to really help her lungs recover.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's really just, really working every day and listening to her. She's learned to listen to her body, where now she knows when she's overdoing it, she's to sit down and rest,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of times we ignore that. There's signs that we should be getting more sleep and we ignore that and we keep pushing forward and we keep adding more things to the schedule. And then what happens? We get sick or we end up, collapse or whatever. And so that's the other thing is, I'm 61 years old. I am not on any medications.
Mm-hmm.
And I see my doctor once a year.
Yeah. I'm
And-
not medications either.
Well,
I'm not going to mention my age, but I'm pretty close to you.
and I recently had some type of ear thing went on where I lost the hearing in my left ear. Well, I kept researching, I kept finding other ways to do things, and I actually started doing a sinus wrench that made my ear heal.
There's other things you can do with the muscles behind your ear and things like that. Some people get, ringing of the ears, and there's things you can do, because what it is that, sometimes it's stress that causes that, and you can work with muscles. And there's a lot of great YouTube videos that you can search to find things like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I really got interested in that several years ago, because we were doing health classes, my wife and I, and we didn't realize that the government, the food regulations that people trust the government to protect you with, they're just guidelines.
Oh yes, they're definitely guidelines.
Yeah, but the additives in the food are not healthy for you, and so you need to learn. I learned how to read the nutrition labels and things like that.
Yeah, I'm going to quote somebody, Ben Fuchs, who was a pharmacist that was on my show at the beginning. He actually said the daily recommended allowance is the daily ridiculous allowance, because it was meant for people to, who are really sick, to get to surviving mode, not thriving mode.
Yeah.
And that's why you do need more nutrients and things like that. And I don't think they really updated the food pyramid or anything like that. So what people eat is just, gluten, wheat, barley, rye, and oats are just they just gum up your intestinal tract and your villi. And it's supposed to be like this, grabbing for nutrients in from your mouth all the way down to your, to where you expel things. It's supposed to be absorbing foods for you. And when you're not gluten-free, it shortens the villi and makes it hard for you to absorb the medications you take, the foods you eat, and the supplementation. So you end up taking more meds. And that's why this med thing is gets out of control for some people. So it's important to, listen to the doctor, but also realize there's certain things that just don't work out for you. And you just got to advocate for yourself.
Yeah.
And know when to advocate for yourself. Know that you can ask for, like in your particular situation, there is, if it was long term, there's something called respite care, where you can get somebody to help you, to give you, so you can get a break, because it's not only maybe affecting your health a little bit because you lack of sleep and things like that, but it's also affecting your emotions and your mindset, and maybe bringing you down a little bit during those times, which was happening to a lot of people. And, so sometimes you need a little break so that you, thank you, Spartacus. I mean, Spartacus, take care of yourself. You got to take care of your emotions. You got to take care of your body. Yeah. And you got to be aware when things are triggering you and do something about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, that's really, really important, because like I said before, if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to come across to anybody being very helpful. You won't have the right attitude. You will be stressed, and you're like, and you're at the end of your rope sometimes. And I hope that didn't happen to you, but that can happen.
Well, I'll give you an example. When my wife was in the hospital, she was having certain complications, and they would look in their computer and they would recommend a medication. And we would look at it and it would go, it has the same side effect as what she's already experiencing. So why would you give this? Well, they would say, well, the computer said to.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And, they need to look at, possibly they didn't know those are the side effects that she had before, which I find hard to believe. But, maybe it was that case. But at least you and your wife were very aware of things that weren't going to work for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as long as you eat cleanly, make sure it's toxin free, make sure it's GMO free, make sure it's, stay away from the gluten, which actually is wheat, barley, rye, oats, and buckwheat, of all things, have gluten in them. And so just stay away from those things. And then you want to, make sure you eat, stay away from oils, because they oxidize and cause inflammation in your system. It also can turn into trans fats, which is not good. So you just need to, supplement well. Obviously, I offer something that has vitamins, minerals, and essential fatty acids that work together as cofactors. So it's very, bioavailable. It's 98% bioavailable, and it's made a difference in my life. And it also helps me recover faster. I mean, doctors are really amazed how fast I recover from broken feet. I broke my foot, and I recovered from a sprain really fast, and also I've recovered from digestive issues too pretty quickly in comparison to what's going on. Because you never know when you eat something, it's gonna be cooked not the way you normally cook it. Because if you're in a restaurant, and then it just kind of you just don't digest it well. But once you're really aware what's going on, like you were aware with your wife, and she was aware of what, I can't do this right now because I'm tired. That's really important. You know what to do to resolve it.
Yeah.
And that's what I've learned so well during my certification, becoming a holistic health coach. And it's more than just the physical, it's also the mind. And also, being in tune to yourself, let your instincts tell you, your gut tell you what to do. Because sometimes you need to do that, right? Especially when you're in a fear mode or a doubt mode or frustration mode. You need to let your gut say, okay, let me take a deep breath and release. And let me analyze what's going on and do the right thing for me, for whoever else I'm with as well. So women's intuition, and men have intuition too. This is your gut feeling, okay?
Well, we have to train that, though. We have to train ourselves to slow down and listen, because otherwise, it ends up in where our body will actually do it for us, right?
Yes. So that's why deep diaphragmatic breathing is so important.
Yeah.
You breathe through the nose, and then you exhale through your mouth. And sometimes if you do that like really short and sigh, it will reduce that stress level. Because that stress level creates a cascade of a whole bunch of health issues. Cortisol goes up, your adrenals get taxed, and it makes people eat more. You can have big problems with your thyroid. It creates a cascade of different things going on, and also emotional fatigue. You gotta take time and take a break to take care of yourself, and you got to have good times with your family members too. I'm sure you go out on date nights, right, with your wife?
Yeah, matter of fact, we have a movie date set up for next week.
Yeah, so that's important, because it's important to get, especially now. I mean, it's really great that we have all this freedom now, but back then it was a little bit more difficult. And you just get out and do something really fun. We watch movies, cook, some air popcorn or whatever, and we kind of just did that for some enjoyment. And also, you need to take a break from technology, lights from the cameras you're on Zoom or our show and things like that. The blue light from the phone, that drains you too. And so you need to take a break from the technology because of the EMF factor of it as well. So electric frequency, stuff. So that's really important. And gosh, today's day, everyone is doing this stuff on the phone, looking at Facebook, looking at Instagram, they're communicating via text messages, they're communicating via Messenger. And that's not really the best way to have a relationship, is it?
No, because especially when you write something to somebody, there's only a small percentage of you get with the meaning behind what's written. Where when you're talking on the phone with somebody, you can hear the voice inflections, or if you're meeting them face to face, you can see the body, the body movements and things. So you actually get a whole different way to relate to somebody, where if you're just texting with somebody, it's just words. And so you don't know whether someone's upset. You don't know, whether they're stressed or whether they're happy or whatever it may be. They might give you those words, but it's where I can, if I hear your voice, I know I can tell whether you're happy or sad, or if I see your face, I can tell that. But when we're in this digital world, I mean, I used to work on the college campus, 12 miles north of me, and everybody's got their their earbuds in, and they're just on their phone. If they're not in class, they're on their phone.
Exactly. And this generation is coming up that really impacted really hard. Unfortunately, my son's, senior year, there was no prom. He was lucky to have a in-person graduation.
Yeah.
And, it really, it harmed him. And it was hard, it was hard to communicate. All they got to see people were on Zoom, in class. And it was really hard to communicate, with people individually. And it's going to be really hard for that generation. And they're so tied into those electronics from get-go. And they don't seem to realize that how important in-person communication is, to see the body language and the emotions that people are expressing when they're talking. And it's really going to be a hard thing for them. So that might be something coming up for you that you have to deal with your relationship coaching,
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure you might be doing that anyway. So.
Yeah, well, when we were kids, right, when the power would go out in the house, we were really happy. We'd light candles and have a grand old time. Now, when most people, when the power goes out, they're like, I can't watch TV, or I can't get on the internet. I can't, And if we actually have any type of power outage in our young people are going to freak. They're not going to know what to do.
Yeah, some don't. I can tell you that. But it's not that bad, because there's things you can do by candlelight, by flashlight.
Yeah.
And maybe you just need to, relax.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath, and think about things that that can make your life better. Review what's going on in your life, and how you're handling things, and how you can handle things in the future better. I mean, you can do that in the dark.
Yeah.
But it's not anybody would think that way, but they should. It's something to suggest, I guess, and that's what I'm going to do in the future. But it's important to always, even when couples, is to review things like, oh, we went out X, Y, and Z. I didn't really like that food there. Can we not go there again? And just, accept that, because there's things that, from, like I said, I had things disagree with me from restaurants, and I just need to have that communication with my husband, so he knows, so he doesn't, automatically, reserve that restaurant for a special occasion and things like that. And with couples that travel, with spouses travel separately, it's really important to communicate, while they're gone, especially when they're like out of the country.
Yeah.
Where there's time zones difference. It's important to say, hey, when are we going to talk again? So I know to set up a time to talk with you. So that it doesn't interfere with, what I'm doing and things like that. And also communicate that, hey, I need more help in this area. I need more help, with you to help me with this. And everyone needs to be open. And if mistakes happen, it's just a learning lesson. It's a growing situation, right?
Yeah.
And, we're all human. We're not perfect.
Right.
But it's like, okay, I know that this isn't, this is something that you don't want to do. And, we need to, do something different next time, that type of thing. Right.
Well, yeah. And it's working together to work out what's best for both of you. Right.
Yes.
I mean, but as long as you keep communication open about what's not working for you, and you come from a place of love and respect instead of blame and complaining,
exactly,
there's a totally different way that your partner will respond.
And it's also important that the partner realizes that when you say something, it's not necessarily a complaint or blaming. They automatically jump there sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So, feelings can be hurt on both sides, and just realize, hey, I didn't mean to come across that way. That's not the way I meant to come across. I just want to let you know. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and, we've been talking about relationships and things like that. And you told me about some challenges. Was there another challenge that you had that you overcame that impacted your relationship in your life? Because
Yeah. I mean, I used to be really afraid going out in the public. And I found out this was the relationship with myself. I mean, I used to go out and think that I was less than everybody else. I was focused on how everybody viewed me and how, like when you have a home-based business, right? It's like it's not a real business, people would say, because you don't have a brick and mortar place, right? And so I would go to these chamber events and I would like, have this perception of people really didn't validate me as a business owner. Um, what I realized is most of the people are struggling with the same issues. They're
yes, they
struggling
are.
whether people will accept them, whether people will know, like, and trust them. And a lot of that is just, stuff from our background that is running the show. And so I started doing an experiment. Whenever I go to an event, I make an intention that I am going to do whatever I can to help everybody at this event. And I
Mm-hmm.
did that in 2 different events that I went to, and it was amazing, the results. People came up and they went, "Mike, where have you been? How are you?" And everything. I mean, because all my intention was to help people and be outgoing and not be in here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I
So
think it's harder for men to do that. It's more natural for women to do that, right?
it is,
We're
yeah.
people pleasers. So you went out of your comfort zone to do that so that people realize you were a good resource. So that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know, um, and the whole idea about self-worth is really important to look at for everybody at any age, because yes, it's the way you were brought up. Everybody, most likely didn't have the most ideal bringing up as a child. And, that was then and this is now. So you got to understand that you can change. There's always possibilities, right?
Yeah.
And what you need to do is just be aware of what is bothering you and then say, hey, this has happened in my past. If that was then, this is now, and this is how I'm going to handle it in the future. Just like you did, you decided to reach out to people in a positive way by being a helping hand, which is a
Yeah.
wonderful way of doing it. So
Yeah.
kudos to you.
Wasn't easy at first, but it took, by sitting and meditating and realizing that, and then just once getting aware of my own, they call it like negative voice, right? And then really watching how other people struggle or interact together, you could really see that we're all dealing with the same, operating system, right? It's
Same
just
luggage,
how
yes.
we program it and how we keep it updated that makes a difference in how we live our lives.
Yes, and they can let go of that luggage.
Yeah.
I always say that life is a balloon and you have balances on the balloon. All you have to do is cut those balances and it goes bye-bye. So let go of that extra weight, the extra luggage that you have,
Yeah.
because you'll be so much happier and freer when you do. So,
Yeah.
and just being coaches like we do, we have those tools and that
Yeah.
we can help people with that. Obviously I help people with health and mindset, and you help people with relationship, which also affects the health as well.
Yeah.
Because unhealthy relationship, it creates more stress for all members. It could be family members in your household, right?
Yeah.
So like we've been saying all along, we need to look at ourselves and see how we can better ourselves with our health, and stop ignoring your health issues, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're aching and not feeling good and things like that, there's either you have inflammation, maybe you have too much weight. You need to take care of your health, because when you don't take care of your health, you'll become a burden on your family. And I experienced that with a family member that did that to his family. And it was really sad. It created a really traumatic experience for everyone involved. So just be aware that, You need to be healthy. I need to do this because I have a reason to live.
Yes.
And do it so that your family can enjoy you for many years to come. And sometimes it takes a significant other or some other family member. They'll point to you. There's something going on. You need to do something. Listen. Don't hide behind that. I'm fine barrier. Listen and do something about it because everybody wants everybody around as long as possible, because they love them.
Yeah.
And, it's important to pay attention to that. And, so like I said before, take care of yourself mentally, physically, and tell you the truth. Your soul will tell you need to do X, Y, and Z and listen to your gut, Then reach out to help others if they're having struggles and see what you can do to help. Now, granted, some people won't listen to you because you're your mom or whatever, but find things that they can do to try to better themselves,
Yeah.
And that's what I do. And so don't hide behind a I'm not well wall because there's always possibilities out there. Don't you agree?
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's looking at when you feel like you were saying, when you feel something's wrong, just sit down and get quiet and listen. And if you ask your body will tell you what's wrong.
Exactly. Slow down and think about it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, so what do you offer for this elephant in the room? What kind of offer do you have for my audience today?
Well, I have a book. It's called Harmony Through the Holidays. It's 5 ways to keep harmony in the holidays in the relationship with your partner and your family, to help you navigate the challenges that all families face during Christmas and the holiday season. And so I have a free book to give away that I'll have a link for you to be able to put for that book, and they can just go to my page and request it, and I'll send them a copy of it.
Okay, and it would be just email because she's sharing your email and things
Yeah,
like that.
they can just email me, and I'll just send them a copy.
Okay, and then there's also a calendar link about a 30-minute session.
There's also a free 30-minute session. Yes, if they have a challenge in any relationship in their life, I'm offering a free breakthrough session to allow them just to see what's possible in applying simple strategies to be able to open up better communication in the relationship.
Okay, and so it's a calendar link. So you go to https://calendly.com, Mike Stewart Coaching /30 minutes for the radio audience that are listening. And your email, could you just say your email so they can contact you?
Yes, it's Mike Stewart Coaching @gmail.com.
Perfect. So for my audience, please reach out to Mike for his coaching, for relationship coaching and what he can offer for you. And of course, you remember for me, for the health and the mindset coaching. And Mike probably has some mindset coaching that's going to help with the couples too. So that's something the coaches all do. Yeah, so just reach out to us regarding that. And I want to thank you for being on my show because it's really important to reduce stress, have open communication, and as we said over and over again, take care of yourself because that's so important, because it'll be very beneficial for your health, for your family, and your relationships with your family. And Sporticus says, thanks, Mike, and thanks, Debbie.
Thank you, Debbie.
So, and I want to remind you that that you have, and Mike, stay on. I want to remind you that I have my book called Women Rising, which is a compilation of 25 women who have their own transformational stories. And if someone's struggling, they can probably find some solutions in here to help them. You can get this by going to my link tree, which is https://www.debi, DEBI, changes, CHANES, lives, LIVES.com, just like the name of the show, /Linktree, LINKTREE. And what you do is you email me at that link tree. The copy of the book is $20, and you can get a signed copy for $25. And I will reply back and get your information and send you the book. On that same link tree, there is a link of for appointments, and that's where you would get my free complimentary consultation for mindset and health. And that is at the same link tree, but you set an appointment. You also see my services, which kind of flashed up really quickly, which is for the Zyto link. And I also offer the Zyto Cradle. But my Black Friday special is on the Zyto link. And what it is a body scan that you do that's a transdermal optical imaging app. I send you a link. You do it on your phone. You scan your body for 30 seconds, and it looks at the areas of energetic and emotional and functional, and it relates it to different body systems and different lifestyles, and it gives you an array of biomarkers in and out of range and services and products, and I review that with you. And what my Black Friday special is, you can get a family pack, a pack of 5 for the price of 4, and you save $50. And you would go to that link tree, to the appointment link that I just mentioned before, and you can go ahead and purchase that family pack that ends on December 31st, or you can set up a consultation to ask me more about it. But it's amazing. People are mind blown by what they find out from that scan. And contact me if you're interested in my Beach Reveal Retreat, where you get a 6-month weight release journey with me. I've actually released 70 pounds and kept it off for over 10 years. So I'm very familiar with with going through a weight release journey. And after that 6 months, there's accountability part of it and a maintenance part of it. And it's tied in with you writing your transformational story in a chapter in a book, just like I did. And it's really not that hard. During that transformational time, I will be giving you hints of what you can remember to write your own chapter in that book. And this retreat is where you write the chapter, and it's in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And the whole package includes my coaching, that 6-month weight release journey, the accountability portion afterwards, and the maintenance portion, because a lot of people don't know what to do in maintenance. And then you get to go to this retreat. You need to save the date from November 6th to the 13th, 2024, where you get to write your chapter in your book. So it includes that, a guidance on how to do that, fun activities to work on, and also a fun time at the beach, and learning the culture about Puerto Vallarta as well. And it includes the food. It obviously includes the publishing of the whole book and how to market the book. So it's a wonderful experience. And when you write a chapter in a book, it's therapeutic. It kind of releases some emotions that you've had in the past, that I've had in the past. And it's always beneficial to release those emotions that you've been through. And so this package is $3,997, and there are payment plans. And remember, you're going to get guidance from me and also the owner, Julianne, which you see in the photo at the dinner table here. And it's going to be a wonderful experience. So remember, you can watch the program, which is you can get at https://bit.ly/beach with a capital B, reveal with a capital R, and show with a capital S, all spelled out, to see more details about this retreat. And you can contact me via email at the link tree that I mentioned before. You would just select the email button, ask me questions, as also you can sign up for it before March 1st of 2024, because that's when the weight release portion happens. Finally, sign up for my newsletter to get updates on promos, events, and update shows coming up. And you can do that at https://bit.ly/radio TV show, all in lowercase. And I'll give you a free gift, a 30-day health and mindset action journal, where you can record your thoughts, your emotions, and your feelings, as well as the foods that you eat, and the exercise you do and the water you take in. And you can review it on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis, just to be aware of what's working for you and what's not working for you. And it's a great tool to have. So, and I am certain you guys felt this, show was educational and eye-opening and enjoyed it. So continue enjoying my radio and TV show, Debi Changes Lives, on Thursdays at 3 p.m., 6 p.m. Eastern, where your holistic journey begins.